different. I think it's like black, white, red,
yellow.
Red, yellow. I think Earth is black.
The tribal ones correspond to the colors to the times of day.
Yeah, that's right.
So like where the sky, what the sky looks like in the daytime. It still makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, totally. Want to go for tools?
Sure. Tools, and obviously, so there are different schools of thought on this. This is the main one. When we talk about the athame or the sword in air, we're talking about something that's moving through air. And some people will say, well, athame is fire and wand is air. But this is pretty much a standard. But when it comes to tools and correlations and stuff like that, it also comes to how it relates to the individual. So you have to keep that in mind too. But air, cutting through the air, cutting your space, your ritual space with your athame, it's very much an air thing. The wand, it's a pointing tool, a tool of action, something to direct your energy. So that's very much fire. The chalice, it holds water. It also symbolizes the womb, as we talked about earlier. And the pentacle for north, it is the coin, the sign of prosperity, the sign of protection, and therefore very earthy. It's also, traditionally the sign of Venus, so which is, pretty much your standard earth, or one of your standard earth goddesses. Let's see. Moon phases, another pretty easy one to figure out, when you're thinking about east being the beginnings. Fire, full moon, it's getting the most light from the sun, it's emitting the most light. Water is starting to end, and north is ended and ready to start a new cycle. Since I think we're pretty.
We already talked about times a day.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that.
That's all right. We already really talked about times a day.
Yeah, we did.
But just to clarify, sunrise once again air, fire, noon like this, the sun at its height, and height of strength, water of course, sunset, west, and earth midnight. Something over.
And a lot of these, once you look through them, it starts to kind of click for people, and you can see where it is that these things correlate to each other. To skip forward a little bit, and I'll go back to the other ones, to talk about the witch's pyramid and the four parts of what it is to do witchcraft, is to do the craft of the wise. To know being air, when you're talking about things of the mind, things of mental clarity. To will, something very action-wise, fire has a will. Fire is action, it's change. Water, to dare, it's very much something that can manipulate itself. So in other words, water takes the shape of what it is. If you put it in a glass, it's the shape of the glass. And earth, wisdom, you're talking about, basal nature, like, grounding energy, to keep silent, which is, earth doesn't have a mouth, so to speak, it's just...
Then also it's manifestation, so that, okay, you've had a thought, you've committed an action, you've dared to keep to accept responsibility for those actions. Well, now what's left is to that reflection. There's that internal silence, but it's also the silence of it's done. There's no more activity. It's manifested.
Okay.
Can we get a time check?
6 minutes after 6.
We'll take a little break for.
Yeah. Everybody can grab some cake and some coffee if they want.
Yes.
You can